On the Murphy Show hotline, he is Jonathan Skrmetti. He is the Attorney General for the state of Tennessee, and he joins us on the Murphy hotline this afternoon. Attorney General, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Pretty big victory for you and for the state of Tennessee and for the rights of high school students and college athletes alike. On Friday, the Eastern Court, or District, I should say, Court of Tennessee granted you a preliminary injunction in your lawsuit against the NCAA. For those maybe that haven't been paying as much attention as we should have to this case, why was it important enough for you and Virginia to join hands together to fight this fight? And what is it all about, Attorney General?
So this is all about protecting the rights of student athletes. That's high school students, that's college students, people who are being asked to go above and beyond in this college sports industry that's bringing in billions and billions of dollars. And the people at the heart of it have been cut off from being fairly compensated for the use of their name, image, and likeness. The NCAA, to nobody's surprise, had arbitrary and unworkable rules that were very unclear. They were shifting. Enforcement was pretty arbitrary. And we were concerned that the students were just really suffering as a result of this. The way the rules were set up, they could not negotiate their NIL rights until they had committed to a school. And so they really couldn't negotiate at all, right? Once you're locked in, it's not much of a negotiation at that point.
Yeah, and it's a little confusing for folks to understand it, that they're not necessarily negotiating that NIL with the school itself. It's oftentimes what are referred to as collectives that these schools have some loose connection with, but it's not the school themselves. Do I have that right?
That's right. The collectives sort of move alongside the schools, but there's no coordination. It's almost like the pack of college athletics.
Mm-hmm. So where do you think it goes from here? What does the temporary injunction do to benefit student athletes in Tennessee right now?
So the temporary injunction means that a student athlete looking at colleges is able to hear from the collectives associated with those colleges what their deal will look like. So they don't have to go in blind. And it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to chase the most money, but we've heard over and over that how much NIL opportunity is there is a really big part of the choice that they're making when they decide to pick a college. And this will let them make an informed choice. It's letting a market work. And this is America. We believe in markets. This has been an artificially suppressed market, and because of this ruling, it is no longer artificially suppressed. It's a free market now.
Our guest is Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti, talking about his recent victory in court, preliminary victory in court, injunction against the NCAA infringing upon the rights, in my opinion, of high school and college athletes. So it feels, and I don't want to oversimplify it, Jonathan, but it feels like we're kind of halfway to a result. And I'm not talking about the specifics of your court case. I'm talking about this change in college football. Once the courts ruled that a student athlete has every right in the world to earn money on their name, image, likeness, I don't know that any of us anticipated these collectives popping up, and now the schools themselves are interfering with the ability, or rather the some laws are interfering with the ability of the students to talk to those collectives. So it feels like we're halfway to a conclusion overall on this thing. Where do you think all of this is going, or have you really thought about the ultimate outcome? And maybe more specifically, what do you hope the ultimate outcome of your case will be?
I mean, the ultimate outcome we're going after here is rules that are fair and rules that are clear. You know, we want student athletes to be able to know what kind of deal they're getting. We want them to understand it. You know, right now we're just in the worst of all possible worlds with these opaque rules that are arbitrarily enforced. This is not the end. This is definitely the beginning of whatever comes next. But you can't start the new thing until you kill the old thing. And
right.
We have a system or prior to last week, we had a system that was just busted. It was not working for the students. At best, it was the Homeowners Association of College Sports just micromanaging every little thing, making it miserable for people to participate in this, making sure that the folks responsible for all that money-generating activity weren't getting the benefit of it. So, the future is wide open. I don't know if the NCAA is the future. I don't know if it's the conferences. I don't know if Congress is going to step in. Senator Blackburn, Congressman Kustoff have been looking at this issue for a while. So there is a lane there potentially for legislation to fix it. But whatever happens next, it's going to be better than what we're leaving behind.
No question about it. And were you surprised at all? I mean, you and Virginia, the state of Virginia, the state of Tennessee and the state of Virginia joined forces. Were you surprised that more attorneys general around the United States did not look at what you were trying to accomplish and join with you?
I kind of was. There were, I think, 11 or 12 of us in the transfer portal case. And we were very happy to be involved in that too. That dealt with other arbitrary conduct by the NCAA. This is a big change. Change is scary. And every AG has athletic departments in their state. And I think the ADs, by and large, were pretty concerned about anything that was going to rock the boat too hard. But the boat was sinking, so something had to happen. And I'm really grateful for Jason Miyares at Virginia. He's been all over this issue for years, and he saw this as a great opportunity to push forward.
Jonathan Skrmetti is with us, the Attorney General of the state of Tennessee. Shifting gears here while I have you for a few more moments, Jonathan. I know that the state of Tennessee is in court arguing before the 6th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, attempting to reverse a lower court ruling regarding the 2023 Adult Entertainment Act. And there was some interesting argument being made there. Where are we in the process of attempting to certify that this is obviously a constitutional act as passed by the General Assembly and signed by the governor? Where are we in the case?
Yeah, so we had the oral argument in front of the court about a month ago. I was surprised to see that this was front page news today. We argued the case. We're waiting for the court to rule on it. Depending on how they rule, that might not be the end of it. But the bottom line is this is not a ban on dressing in drag. This is a ban on sexually explicit performances in front of kids. And we will keep defending this. And, we'll see where it goes, but this is not a fight we're going to walk away from.
Well, and I want to try to correct some misinterpretation or some potential error in reporting on this with you in real time, AG, because there was a suggestion in some of the reporting that's come out recently that you're trying to get into people's homes to tell them how they can dress inside of their homes. It is my understanding that it is currently illegal to sexually abuse a child anywhere in the state of Tennessee. Is that not correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't do that in the privacy of your own home.
Right. So it's illegal to sexually abuse a child in the privacy of one's own home. So the suggestion is, by extension, that what is happening in some of these private establishments would equate to sexual abuse of a child. Tell me if I'm misinterpreting what I'm hearing here. It would rise to the level of sexual abuse of a child. And what you're trying to do is to make clear in the law, or at least what the General Assembly is doing and you're defending, is that we want to make clear in the law that we consider these performances of a sexual or lewd nature to rise to the level of the abuse of a child. I think I'm saying that pretty accurately, am I?
I think that's pretty close. I mean, there's law that says that you can constitutionally prohibit obscenity, and there's law that says you can constitutionally prohibit explicit performances for kids. This law that we have that we're defending is very similar to laws that were already on the books that nobody ever questioned, very similar to laws in other states that were ruled constitutional by the courts. There's always specific things to litigate. There are always complications involved. But the main point of this law is that sexually explicit performances should be prohibited for kids, and that's something the Constitution absolutely allows.
And that would be anywhere in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And finally, Attorney General, there's been a lot of conversation about illegal immigration, as you might expect. And obviously, as the chief law enforcement officer for the state of Tennessee, now that I have you on the phone, I want to ask you, what, if anything, can we help you with regard to what we're seeing? Obviously, it's a national matter. It's a federal issue. There's a lot of conversation about Tennessee trying to assert our rights in the manner in which Texas has done and some other states. What tools do you have in your toolbox to combat this? What is your office doing to try to help some of these district attorneys that, frankly, some of them seem loath to tackle this issue in their communities? And what more can the people of Tennessee do to help you?
So a couple things. First of all, we are part of the national effort. I think you'll see something along those lines very soon. But we've been working with other states, signing on to briefs, brainstorming with different state AGs, trying to figure out the best way forward, because we've had a few significant losses in the Supreme Court on this issue. It's trickier than you might hope. The second thing is we are suing the Department of Homeland Security. We're suing them right now in a FOIA case. We've also been looking at different regulations they have. We're going to take shots at that. And then we are looking through some pretty old case law based on some recent filings, just trying to figure out exactly what the legal landscape is here. I hear constantly from people who are really concerned about this issue. You see that horrible murder just over in Georgia recently, which is, if anything, further amped up concern about this. But the volume of immigration is such that even the deepest blue sanctuary cities are now saying, we cannot handle this. It has to stop. So, talk to your legislators, although I suspect most of them are already pretty fired up about this issue. And, just know that we are looking at this. We are looking at every option. We're talking with other states about every option. We are going to maintain as aggressive a strategy as we can to fix this problem.
Thanks for your time, AG, and we'll have you on again very soon. I appreciate everything you do for the state of Tennessee and appreciate you talking to our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, you too. There's Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti joining us for a few good minutes.